Okay, beurre blanc first. I'm all ready to cook fish. We'll come back to salmon in a second. Okay, we want to basically get this down to what's considered sec or demi-sec. Okay, all I've done is reduce this. Okay, you can see some of the browning on the sides that I showed you, that I was talking about right there. If you look on the sides of this pan, you take a cold towel, you can clean it up so that when you do make your beurre blanc, that doesn't necessarily go into your side. So if you have more of that, if it's black, change your pan. If it's slightly brown, you just need to clean up a little of it. Get your pan, get your towel wet, and clean up the edges of your pan before you add any butter. Okay, demi-sec means basically half dry. So you don't want the pan to be totally dry, but you do want it to be almost gone. I'd say there's probably a tablespoon of liquid left there. Okay, at that point, I want to start introducing my butter. Okay, you want to add butter, add air, add butter, add air, so you can get your consistency that you are looking for. So that's another reason that I cut these pieces of butter up. Come over here. Okay, you're gonna stay there. Okay, once you add it, you need to basically slowly melt your butter into it. Okay, if it boils too hard, you're gonna separate the butter itself, and it's gonna look really, really greasy. And if you put too much cold butter into it, it'll solidify. So if it's too cold, it solidifies. If it's too hot, it separates. So your job is to slowly add knobs of butter and let it melt in. The warmer your butter is, the quicker this process will go, right? That's that temperature differential thing that I was talking about. Okay, the amount of wine you put into it is directly related to how much butter you put into it. Wine is there to balance out the richness of the butter. So you just want enough wine for the pound of butter you're adding to it. So generally I'm like a bottle of 750 milliliters, 2 pound of butter. That's a general ratio. You'll be able to make it more. And again, that's all flavor. It's not going to affect the ability for the emulsion to happen. 100% flavor. Boil, please. Okay, I'm going to reserve a little bit of butter for my risotto. Reserve a little bit of butter for the pound for risotto. Can you use them, please? Want to season up a blanc? At this point, you could use white pepper. You guys know how I feel about white pepper? I just don't particularly like it. There's nothing wrong with white pepper. It's just not my favorite seasoning. I think it kind of changes the flavor profile a little. So I don't mind a little bit of black pepper in it. Okay, we have a nice little consistency. You can cook back in a spoon. It's not going to be as thick as like a bechamel. Okay, if I kept adding butter, I could get it pretty darn thick. But it's a butter sauce. It's a light butter sauce, traditionally accompanied with fish, sometimes chicken. Okay, you don't see it as often with meats. Okay, I want to add a couple of chives to it. I like to cut my chives right before I'm going to use them. That's a little bit what I want. Just don't do too many at once and it should work out. Should be a nice knife work again. The key is just don't try and do too many at once. And everyone tries to rush it. Hit it with a little bit of lemon, just a little bit more acidity into it to, again, I mean, there's pretty much pounded butter in here, right? Oh, so fire. Okay, so now we have a beurre blanc that I turned into a trout beurre blanc. Sounds like a mother and a baby. Okay, generally those herbs I would add at the last second before I'm going to use it, which is now. Okay, keep your beurre blanc warm. Usually I set them just on the back of the stove. So if you put these into a water bath, it's actually too hot. If you have water that's boiling like 85 or something like that, 10 bubbles, it actually melts it. So I store them around the heat lamp, I store them in different places. But you don't want to get them too hot, you can't get them too cold. If it gets too cold, it will solidify because there's butter in it. By definition, butter is a fat and solid at room temp. Okay, so it will solidify. We're going to avoid that. As this is coming up, I want to get my risotto together. Some remaining lemon stock. It's not technically a stock, right? Why is it not a stock?
No.
Not seasonings.
No bones in it?
There it is, bones. Remember stock, broth, and bouillon? Remember I was talking about this, Caesar?
Yeah.
So there's stock, which is bones, broth, which is meat, and bouillon's both. So it's kind of hard to have a vegetable stock. You know, and more importantly, a stock usually will have the ability to get thick and gelatinous because of the collagen is present in those bones. You don't have them from meat. You're not going to get a nice thick veal gloss from basically meat. You're only going to get it from those bones. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so a little bit of my stock and a little bit of rice. We're going to bring it up. We're going to get it to where I want. Then I'm going to finish it with the butter and the Parmesan cheese. Please. Okay, if something sticks in the kitchen, why does it stick?
It wasn't hot enough.
It wasn't hot enough. Okay, just period. Okay, we want to get this salmon seared. To do that, I want to have a nice hot pan. I put it up to smoking level. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get my fish together. I'm going to let it cool down where it's not smoking, and then I'll be pretty much happy where I want it to be. Okay, one seasoning hand, one fish hand, right? One seasoning hand, one fish hand. Meaning, please don't put salmon juice into my salt. Please? Okay. Other things on this. When you're looking at this fish, there's two distinct sides to it. Okay, there's a side, the skin side. You can see basically there's a little bit of the basically fat and a little bit of collagen that's underneath that skin. Okay, that's not as appealing to the eye when you sear it. The bone side of it, the inside, I mean, if this had skin on, you could crisp up the skin and then it would be very appealing to sell. Once it has been skinned, it doesn't look as good. Even though it sits flatter, it's not as pretty as what we call the bone side. So the bone side would be closest into the spine of the ribcage and the skin side would be on the outside edge. The skin side, because of these fatty deposits that are present on them, does not look very good when you sear it. Okay, whatever side you want to serve to the guest, we call presentation side. Whatever side you're going to serve the guest wants to hit the pan first. So if I have skin on the salmon, that's going to be my vegetation side. I'm going to get it really, really crispy. I'm going to sear the skin side down first. That would be this side. This does not have skin on it, so we're going to use bone side because it would be prettier. It looks, it's more uniform orange. You'll see when you cook them, you'll see both sides look differently. Okay, and the one side is prettier. The bone side is the one that we're going to be looking for. Okay, whatever side we're going to present to the guest, we want to have it hit the pan first because while that protein has a bunch of water weight in it, it's going to sit in the pan at its flattest. Okay, when you first put it in, as it starts to cook, it's going to evaporate liquid present in it, and it's going to curl away from the pan. So the next time you turn it, it's not going to sit as flat. So the first time, because it has more moisture, it will sit flat. That's all I'm trying to get at. Okay, high heat, little oil. Saute means to jump. You should be hearing something in your pan. High heat, little oil. To jump. Okay, pan side down. Closer you get to the pan, the safer it is. No large drops. Drop away from you. Let it sit at the bottom of the pan. Is that actively cooking right now? Is it actively cooking?
Yes.
Absolutely. So my hand, because it is smoking, is showing me it might be a little too hot. My salmon is lowering the core temperature of the pan, and it's cooking. Both things that I wanted to do. You know what I really want for Christmas, Mama?
Yeah.
I want a hand sink down there. I really would like a hand sink right there. That's what I want for Christmas.
Make it happen.
Yeah, I'll make it happen.
It's just like
When I win the lottery, it's the first thing I'm going to do. Okay, back to the heat. Let's get basically a sear and release, which we need for this thing to cook all the way through. So I'm walking the fine line of basically getting it to cook, get my sear and release on it, and yet and I want it to cook straight through conduction of heat. So basically the fire's going to touch the pan, pan's going to touch the fish, and then it's going to cook through basically on the fish. We're not putting it into the oven, we're not doing anything else. So we have to walk that fine line of giving it enough time in the pan without basically burning it. Okay, so you are in charge of it. Okay, see it's still sticking? You need to develop that bark. That's the release. It's actually Pecorino Romano. It's a sheep's mouth one, which is a little bit sharper and I think it's going to work better for the fish. With the lemon risotto, so it's a sheep's mouth dry cheese, very similar to Parmigiano Reggiano, called Pecorino. What we're using today. Okay, so we're looking for basically color on all sides. Is exactly it. So we want nice caramelization of color. We want a uniform, hopefully no blackening marks on it. That's exactly it. As this fish cooks down the sides, you can start to see the difference in doneness. So you have basically the orange colored flesh or whatever, salmon colored flesh going to peach colored flesh. I don't know, maybe you're like get Crayola on you. But basically you can see that direction on it as it goes. You know there's a Breaking Bad pop-up down in LA? Yep. You can go and eat in the motorhome.
Really?
Yeah, it's a Breaking Bad pop-up. Yeah. I want to go do it. I want to do it, then go see that community movie. Saul's office is in it and everything. Fantastic. I watched it. Yeah. Came up on one of my feeds. I don't know. Okay, salmon is one of those fish that we don't mind leaving a little temperature on. Okay, but we don't want to serve it raw. That's not what we're trying to do. We do not mind having a little temperature. Good job. Gosh,
Oh,
I looked at it. I thought they were all done.
wait, your lemon is cooking.
We're putting some lemon juice into the risotto. Hopefully not the seeds. Okay, needs a little more. Thank you for Pasole, Chef.
Thank you.
Sweat some shallots. Let's get our green bean haché working as well. Oh, just use them all.
There not too much cheese.
Sweat your shallots to basically temp or to scent. As soon as you start to smell them, you're where you want to be. Add your green beans and a touch of your stock. You can use stock water or anything. We just want to distribute our heat throughout the green beans. So since we have a little bit of lemon water, we're going to use that. Okay, salt, pepper, a little bit of butter.
That is timbale. What? That's what the timbale is, right? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, baking quiz.
Yeah.
What was that?
That's the timbale, right?
Yeah, it's made out of that's something from Home Depot, but yeah.
But like, technically. Great idea.
I got like a whole bunch of them when I got it. 12 feet of them.
Perfect, dude.
And a little bit of sandpaper. Then you wash it. And you're done. I think Kendra would approve.
Maybe you should not color.
What's that?
We just shouldn't color.
I think I just know. Some things you just know the answer to. You're okay. Okay, so the Italians have a term, your risotto should be drooling, meaning it should have moisture present to it. It shouldn't be thick and chalky, but it shouldn't be so wet that it's going to basically ruin any sauce I put onto the plate. Okay, so I want the risotto to hold together in a shape. When I lift it, I want it to settle in. It should be drooling, is what the term is on it, exactly on it. We don't want it to be so wet that it ruins it. Center your plate. Put as much risotto as you think you can eat.
Bless you.
The green beans should still be green, people. What is the term for when cut this way? You guys remember? Haché. It's hash. I think hash, right? Hash is all chopped up and cut, right? So it's hash, but they put an A at the end of everything. It's kind of like when you're learning to speak Spanish, you put an O on the end of everything.
Yeah, so when you learn to speak French, you just. That's true.
Well, it's French, you just like forget.
Okay,
the
take a
last,
look.
like,
So look, it should drool a little bit. Guys, everyone see how it's still holding its shape. Okay, but it is drooling, and that's exactly what we want. It's not going to hold the fish on it. The fish is going to drop it. That's what we are looking for. Put a little pressure on your green beans with the backside of the spoon so it holds. Get over here. And it's going to break, and I know it is. But I'm all right with that.
Oh, pretty.
Okay, some of my sauce. Okay, I like a little bit of negative space in the bottom of the plate. So I don't want it completely full of sauce. I don't like it completely full of it. Do you guys understand negative space? It's where you see the plate.
Yeah.
So you can see the negative space on it. So you notice I try to plate my plate completely within the rim so it draws the eye to the center. Okay, so nothing out here on the edge. Okay, everything out here on the edge I think looks like a dirty toilet bowl. Okay, so literally in tight to the side, that's what we want. Actually, it's pretty enough for me. This one does. Can't make a lovely little. Oh, like I meant to do it. $28. Let's go all day long.